YouTube. Well, who's up? I'm still up. I'm not going to be on here too long. Hey, as he entered the room, give it a thumbs up so I can start. I'll start in the next few minutes, see who's on. I'm not going to talk about anything in particular, just my day today. So, anyway, all I heard all day, literally, was oh, this virus, this corona. I went to the DeKalb Farmers Market, bought me some vegetables and, more fresh vegetables, water, fruit, kale. And as I was walking through the farmers market, everybody was on their cell phone. Everything was talking about this virus. I swear, every single person who was on their cell phone, that's what they were talking about. Then I went to Home Depot and same thing. Everybody, that's all they was talking about. The coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. Grocery stores were long lines and Walmart, and people saying they were running out of things. I didn't even know what the things were they were talking about. Hey, Jen. And I wasn't going to Home Depot looking for anything in particular. No, I went to get bleach. Basically, I already got me some bleach, but I said, let me buy two more. And people were looking for Lysol wipes and sprays, and I was like, I got germicide bleach concentrated, meaning that I could make 30 gallons per with music. Oh, you live too? I ain't gonna stay too long. I'll probably jump on other people's channels if they up. So I'm just walking through Home Depot, bought me like three things of bleach out. I bought outside bleach and inside bleach. So next week is spring, and I'm gonna start my spring cleaning and just go through each room, with a bucket of bleach and water and just wipe down everything. Not because of no virus. It's just because, spring, outside. I'm almost done. Yeah, thanks. I'm doing quite well. And then, clean all of my bathrooms, clean each room, clean out the garage, um, wash down the mildew around my house. So I'm just going to take a bucket of bleach for the outside bleach with some water and get me some, just scrub everything down and wash all the windows. So I need to make a list because I get so preoccupied that I jump from one thing to the next and never finish any one particular thing. So I gotta do it in stages, basically. So start with one room and don't leave that room until everything is done and totally done. So that's what I've heard. And then I'm so disappointed because they canceled the remaining NCAA March Madness tournament. So there won't be a championship in both women's and men's basketball. And I'm so mad because my women's USC, South Carolina, was number one in the country. And I was so looking forward to watching the tournament, watching them win another championship because they had a really strong, very good team. But you have to look out for the safety of this disease. I ain't gonna say disease, but this virus, and you do trust me, you don't want this to get out of hand where it goes from a few hundred people to millions. Because let me tell you, if it gets out of hand to the point where it's millions of people, it could be. Ooh, I can imagine. I could imagine. Then my dumb sister called me today, and the reason why I say dumb because she's always so dramatic about stuff. Now I feel that I think I got it. Like trust me. If you got it, I told her, I said, you know what, just go to the doctor. She lives in Houston. But that ain't nothing to play with. I know that. So to me, the only best thing to do it is just do what you normally do. Wash your hands with soap and water, hot water preferably. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your eyes. Nothing. And just be aware. It's something you just can't. You can't worry about it. You can't boggle your mind down to it. But after that, yeah, exactly, Jeremy. People just going plain crazy. It's like I was walking through it and people were buying up cases and cases of water. And I said, you know what? And I didn't panic because of, I said, oh, let me get me some water too because of it. I said, let me get me some. I went and bought me like 3 gallons of, that 99-cent water you see at the Dollar Tree. So I bought 3 of those waters from the, when I went to the farmer's market. And when I went down to look at the, I know people grabbing up toilet paper, even at Home Depot. People had like shopping carts of toilet paper. I said, really? Really now? Toilet paper? Now what, So I guess people thinking, oh, let me get that. Oh, I need, yeah, exactly. What toilet paper gonna do other than wipe your ass? I'm like, what is it the purpose of buying up all that toilet paper? To do what? You think the coronavirus virus gonna come at your ass? I mean, what are you gonna do? Shit? And they were like, oh my god, it's the virus. Of course, if you if you're sick and you know how you get diarrhea and you just, I said, shoot, I'm gonna focus on buying some bleach. I mean, I'm not saying don't buy no toilet paper, but I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and, I already had me a big thing of bleach when I used to wash clothes, and then I had bought, like I said, I bought 2 more. And it ain't because no damn virus too. It's because one is I need to clean my house for spring and get all that mildew and everything around the house. I don't have a power washer, so I'm gonna, get a bucket and just wash down, the sidings of my house and that's it. It ain't gonna take the whole gallon of bleach. It ain't gonna be used up. One is concentrated. That's the reason because they're gonna stay inside. They're gonna buy toilet paper. Okay, but still, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but what's the worst thing to happen? You're like, oh my god, I ain't got no toilet paper. Shoot, take a shower, wash your butt, and go. Shh. If you're gonna stay inside, you ain't going nowhere. Still gotta wash your ass. Hey Vicky, but and then what's so funny is I started thinking about those hoarders. Remember those TV shows that people would they were hoarders and they would buy up all these they go there and go to the supermarket and they had a whole room full of toilet paper, soap, and canned goods, and they had like a shitload of stuff, and they had all that toilet paper. See, who would think that if you were one of those people who was doing that and had a stockpile? I mean, people had a whole garage, a whole room. This room is about 8 by 10 in this room, and they had literally the whole room would have been filled up with stockpiles of toilet paper to whatever. I bet you find somebody who does that now. You'd be like, shoot, they'll make a killing. They could turn around and sell some of those things. You know, people have it. You know, I mean, can you imagine? Who would think that this would come down to it? You know, I bet you if I go to the Dollar Tree, I bet you they probably have no more nothing. But mm-mm, I'm not gonna go crazy like that. Buy a whole bunch of um, toilet paper and toilet, mm-mm, nope. Talk about they ain't got no more Lysol, no more hand sanitizer. What's everything, Vicky? When you say everything, what's everything? I mean, other than hand sanitizer and those masks that don't even work. Because my nephew's mom in Sacramento couldn't even get rice in Costco. What? Well, you know what? The only thing that, like I said, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I ain't got nothing, Once my little garden thing flourishes in the spring and summer, you know, because I went to the farmer's market, I went to buy me like, green vegetables and stuff. And I was like, kale, this little bitty kale. I mean, it wasn't, I was like kind of thinking about products being shipped, like food and stuff, like, at the farmer's market. And if we have a bad weather, in terms of say, like it was hot last summer, and it was, and things don't start to flourish and valuable things don't, vegetables, fruit, with climate change and products coming out of China. I'll be cautious, but that's what I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be buying stuff coming out of China. You know, you gotta watch you gotta watch what you buy because there's things that is something of concern too. And things coming in from China and because it's not just about the physical products, you know. Because I was thinking about my nephew. I was thinking about those Korean and those Asian ethnic stores. How a lot of their stuff comes from China. You know those type of stores, are going to be really going to be affected. People ain't going to be going to those type of supermarkets and um, buying things like that. That's going to be a total economic disaster for those type of businesses. And I ain't trying to be funny, but what about we, wearing weaves? You know how the thing says those weaves, hair weaves, and wigs and stuff. It says made in China. We're gonna be some bald headed bitches walking around. See, I don't be, I ain't trying to be funny, but there'll be some bald headed people trying to look for some weave made in China. Those Chinese stores, and they be selling all that products on their shelves. all those products and stuff you see made in China, you better be careful of what you buy. I'm not saying it's gonna affect it. I ain't saying you got no coronavirus in the product, but those type of things shipping in to the countries, they're not gonna be able. You can't bring those. Who's gonna bring? How those products are gonna come over here from China to service those stores? You know, the imports. Somebody got to bring that over. So now, that's gonna be really. You have to think beyond. Think beyond the scope. The economy, the stock market is already plummet. But before this whole virus thing, they was already talking about we're gonna be entering in a recession, and when is it gonna come? Is it gonna come this year? Is it gonna come next year? They didn't know. Now this virus may really have an impact on what's gonna happen with the economy. China's already is entering a they said they're about to go into a recession. The gross national product is already down by 17%. Now, some people don't know what that means, but if you study economics, such as myself, I understand it. Gross national product, that's the basically people buy products and services, and how currency comes into the country. So it seems like that's a decline, and anytime people are not buying products and services, that puts a big spin on any economy. So there's a lot of job layoffs and schools closing. They said colleges are closed. Colleges is like ended. Some people are doing it online. My neighbor next door, the wife works for the state. They saying that they sent state employees home to work from home. Hey, Romeo. Well, I'm just talking about my day. I went to the farmers market and Home Depot, and everybody was on this. Everyone on the cell phone was just talking about this virus. That's all I heard. Every single person who was walking through that farmers market and at the Home Depot. That's all they were talking about. And then they canceled the NCAA tournaments for women and men's basketball tournament. I was like, dang, I can't even follow through my women's team, South Carolina. They were number one in the country. Now the whole season ended. And now we're here talking about it. No, that was my topic, Vicky. That was my topic. That's what the title says. That was my whole topic when I came on here. And the impact is going to be having. I got my flu and I stayed at the house for 2 days now. You got my flu. You got the flu? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Romeo. But you know what, though? Come next, I don't know. I don't know if this. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you better make sure you drink plenty of water and fluids and stay home. Don't even go out. Don't even go nowhere. How you know you got the flu? Or you just got, or you just getting allergies? Because because the spring is blooming flowers, and a lot of people coughing and sneezing, and that's gonna come up. So people ain't gonna know the difference between the common flu and allergies. So it's gonna be very people gonna be running to the doctor, being like, and I ain't talking about runny nose and just coughing. When people have allergies, some people have some people it's so bad that some people even get respiratory issues. So I don't know. With no mask, all these masks are being sold out. People can't. Okay, that's what they do to test if you got the flu. But you ain't got that the corona. You ain't got the COVID-9 or 19 or whatever. So thank God you don't have that, Romeo. But make sure you drink plenty of whatever they give you, the antibiotics, and make sure you drink plenty of water and fluids, and wash your hands. Hot water and soap. You know. But I'm glad you're okay, Romeo. I know one thing. I'm not going to be venturing out and about as much. So, but no more basketball. No more nothing. Dang, ain't nothing gonna. What's gonna happen in the summer? All the festivals and at Piedmont Park and all those things gonna be canceled because if this thing keeps going on for another couple of months, all the big festivals and things outside, people, it's gonna be a mess. I won't be surprised if people who do Uber and Lyft that they suspend people from driving and telling them they can't drive and pick up people anymore. That could happen. Uber and Lyft, they could probably say we're going to suspend for 30 days where they'll turn off the app and people won't be able to do the driving, you know, because if Uber doesn't do nothing about it or Lyft, they don't implement that. The state that each of these, each state that Uber's in, they may tell them, they may force their hand and tell them, I need a work from home job. Hey, Angel, what state do you live in, Angel? Because I applied for a work from home job working. I just did I'm waiting for my background check to come back, and I'll be working for the Arise platform. I'm not going to be a IBO, which is a business. I'm going to be working under someone else. And oh, you're in Tucker, Georgia. This might not be the same Angel I worked with at Domino's. Is this Angel? Is that you? Or you another? Because I know someone Angel. Make sure you're not one of my coworkers. So Angel, you can hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Okay, Angel, you're not even that far from me. If you in Tucker, Georgia, I live in Stone Mountain, so I'm up the road from you. So you my neighbor. I worked at that damn ass Domino's in Tucker. You probably, if you ever gone into Domino's on La Vista, you probably seen me. Well, shoot me up an email. I think my email's in my profile. Oh, you haven't been there? You live in Tucker. You would have been there if you ever eat at nasty ass Domino's, because it's right there in Tucker. Well, Angel, just shoot me an email. I think my email is in my. You don't eat Domino. Trust me, you wouldn't really want to. Only reason why I nibbled when I worked there, I nibbled. You know. Yeah, email me because there's oh, you quit fast food? I need to quit too. That's why I bought me some vegetables and fruit today at the farmer's market. I'm gonna start juicing and doing, bought that expensive Vitamix. So I'm gonna start doing a lot of juicing, and they are saying for inflammation, and I bought me some ginger, lemons, and I'm gonna start making my ginger tea. I need to quit all that. I used to quit eating, drinking soda and fast food and stuff. So I need to detox my body completely. So I bought me some ginger and some lemon, and I bumped into a former, well, she was a nurse at the IRS. Um, I saw her at the farmer's market, and she had like a whole bag of ginger. She's Jamaican too. So she had a whole big bag of ginger stuff, and she was telling me about, um, yes, it's easy. Well, yeah, because sugar is addictive, and once you get to that sugar, that's very addictive. You have to, um, well, you good. I used to get off of that, but I need to do a complete detox. So I'm gonna go back to my juicing and just eating a whole lot more vegetables because I kind of fell off the wagon. So I need to get back onto it. So yeah, Angel, it was a I applied for this work at home job. There's a couple of them I applied to, and I'm still trying to finish taking this test for one company, Sykes. They work from home, and then there's another company. Oh, thanks. You mean with the diet or the taking the test to work from home, or both? I'm gonna do both. But yeah, I have some job leads. But thanks. I'm gonna start documenting that, going back to my because my YouTube video was my weight loss journey. So I'm gonna start. Yes, they hiring sites. They hiring for work at home, and also um Home Depot is hiring through a company called what's the name? Yeah, it's another company, Skypes. They're looking for customer service, and then they're looking for, you don't have to be on the phone with customers. This is like an internet search engine thing. They're looking for people to do that, and then the other one is hold on a second, let me see. I can't think of that. Not live. Well, Live Ops is one. Working Solutions is another. Then there's another company. Dang it! I always keep getting this thing name. Arise. That's it. Arise. Arise. And with Arise, there's different IBOs or companies that people. It's like you're a temp. You can establish your own company as it's like a temp agency and placement service where you have people under you. It's not no multi-level marketing or nothing. It's like you could do two things with I say, for instance, I started my TPS call center LLC, and I'm the owner of this company, and I could sign up for various different contracts to do customer service for. Like now, they looking for people for Home Depot, or you could be roadside rescue, and you basically take the series of courses, and you get certified for each of these companies, and you basically bill them for minutes, like 12.50 an hour or 14 an hour, depending on what they pay would be. And say I hire you, Angel and Jeremy, and y'all, I say, okay, y'all gonna be my employees, but y'all gonna be independent contractors, and then I get paid for having y'all under me, and then I pay the salaries to each of y'all. So I'll be working under a company that's in Miami, Florida, Avaris, and I'll be employee under Avaris, but I'll be working from home doing Home Depot, because Home Depot outsource customer service to these other IBOs. Remember I told you the other day that a lot of these companies are they go to third parties to handle the customer service. So basically that's the same thing. So I'm going to start out as a representative for under another company, and then once I start and go to the training and get it, and then also come up with the fees to start my license, because I have to pay to be an LLC and register a company with the state of Georgia. So those things I'm working towards having my own business, but I'm going to work with someone for a minute, not that long either, because I've been thinking about this for the last 4 or 5 years when they first came out. They've been around for a long time. They've been around for at least 10, 15 years, and I remember when they came about. But at the time, I was living in apartments, and I really didn't understand. I said, I don't get it. Why I got to pay a fee? And, I always thought it was a scam. But then in hindsight, a lot of companies started out a few years ago, very small, they saw the need and the trend was working from home. And they jumped on board, started their own little website, started, and they making a lot of money. But that was something that's because it's always been talked about. But if you really took advantage of doing it, then it could be quite profitable. It's legit. I can tell you that. Like I said, it's legit, and it's still new. So it's not something you know overly saturated. But as technology changes and updates, you know, a lot of those things are you can take advantage of. And I've looked at a lot of different case studies of people starting their own business from home, and it doesn't take a whole lot. This room is about 10 by 10, 8 by 10. This room could be my office, and I could have another room if I wanted to do it. I could have a whole bunch of people in another room. In the big master bedroom ain't that big, but and set up a bunch of computers and let people come, and they working from my house, working in a call center. But the call center is nothing more than my house. But people had bought space and expanded to um, millions of dollars. And that's what Wipro is. That's what that other company I work for, CGS, was about. Um, Skies, all these companies, that's how they started. They started out being like that. That's how they started. And they just had different agents under them, and they grew to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And that's how they grew. That's how they came about. Okay, people, stop coming in my day. All these alerts coming up. Yeah, you can do that type of work. Just email me, and I'll because they have another information session Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and there's an information session, and they will you could join. You just have to have the equipment, computer, laptop. You have to have it hardwired, meaning you have to have your Ethernet connected to your computer, not wireless. You don't have to have a plain telephone, because with that you'll be taking calls from your computer, so that's a good thing. And only thing is that the only thing, but you know what? Oh, okay, then you could do it. Just go to the next session, but send me an email, and then I could send you the link to this company. There's many companies out there you could be under, but I chose to go under this particular IBL. He's out, they out there in Miami, Florida, Cuban American. He's been doing it for 6 years, and he seems to be doing pretty well. Shit. For $49, you have to pay $49 for the fee per. You get paid 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. With Home Depot, it's $12.50 per hour. You can work as many hours as you want. You can work part-time or full-time, and you choose a window of scheduling. So right now, I'm only in the beginning stage, which is doing the background check. Let me see. I wrote some notes down about it. Let me see. And then I'm still trying to study for this other one, for this other company. You're not on the phone, but I'm trying to go through all these materials because I got to request a test either Monday or Wednesday, and it's an open book. But dang, so right now I finished studying. I finished all the lessons, so now I'm trying to go back and review. So I paid for the background check, was $9.95. They said that you go phase 1, which is training, is 10 days. It's from April 13th to April 23rd. That's when the training starts. It's unpaid. And then the second and the third week is paid. And then you have to choose a schedule. So you have a choice. So whatever one you choose for training is 3 hours a day. So you have to choose a schedule that you want, and you got to keep that schedule until you actually get out of training and go to production. Then you choose your schedule. And it could be anywhere from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. But you have to at least work at 5 hours during the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, or any combination of 5 hours. And it's $12.50. And let me see. What else did they say? You paid these fees, right? It's in your self-employed. You're not at work. You're not a W-2. So you're actually self-employed. They take these fees because that's part of the fee. That's how they make their money. And I said, you know what? $49 per pay period or something like that. Because that covers, there's fees that's covered to work with the platform, basically. But anytime you pay fees, and it's not like you pay like one of those jobs and say, oh, you got to pay to get a work from home job. The fees that you pay, you actually could deduct from your taxes. So for me, I said, people say, oh, I got to pay the fee. But as long as I could deduct it on my taxes, when I file my taxes, because I've been doing self-employed since going on 4 years, in between Uber and all these apps that I've been working, I get to deduct this office space you see around me. You see that Chick-fil-A company on the background, all the books on the bookshelf. I could deduct the like when I take this carpet up and I say I want to put some hardwood floors, that's a deductible. I take the square footage of the remodel of this room or 2 rooms, because if I use this as my office, the other room is my office, all the square footage is used as a deduction. If I paint, that's a deduction. That's a business deduction. The fees that I pay, this brand new computer I bought, The electric bill, gas bill, water bill, parts of all of that is deductible when you work from home, being self-employed. And also, if you are a YouTube creator and your main business is doing YouTube, people don't realize that that using having a home studio and anything associated for you to do YouTube is deductible. Now I'm going to start reaching out to these content creators and promote my business for business consulting and taxes and how you can maximize your home as your own business. So anything associated with your apartment, you don't have to live in a house to do it. You live in an apartment and you conduct a business out of your house or at your apartment, part of what you pay in rent, there's a percentage that not the whole thing you pay in rent. So if you live in a 950 square feet apartment and 200 of those square footage is for your business usage, there's a way that you calculate the percentage of what you pay in water, gas, equipment, whatever you deduct. But that's going to be I'll show y'all that when the tax season rolls around. I haven't really been talking too much about that. So if y'all interested in knowing about that, let me know. Comment in the screen if y'all want me to continue to talk about that, because I know a lot of people haven't been doing Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash and whatever, and people keep hearing the same scenario of, oh, you could deduct the gas. Oh, you could deduct the mileage. People don't get the full explanation. Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of people out of that Chick-fil-A going out to deliver Chick-fil-A. Yeah, the deduction do sound good. And they only deliver Chick-fil-A only delivers within 3 miles. If you have to live 3 miles or 5 miles to deliver. But I haven't seen a whole lot of people. Even when I used to hang out at Chick-fil-A, I don't see a lot of people picking up food with Chick-fil-A, like Grubhub. I don't see a lot of Grubhub people picking up from Chick-fil-A like they used to. Because I used to go to Chick-fil-A, even if I went there, you would think I would see at least one person walk up in there picking up food, but not no more. Not no more. I saw that I went to Taco Bell for the very first time. I have my bookkeeping certificate. Okay, that's good, Romeo. You should start marketing that. I've seen DoorDash in Fremont, California. I still see DoorDash and all the rest of them because, like I said, I went to Taco Bell for the first time today. Very first time, meaning that I've never ate at Taco Bell before. And it had a big ass sign talking about we now deliver with Grubhub. Taco Bell, really? People that lazy, I would never buy no. I would never use no service like that for Taco Bell. Taco Bell's already cheap. The cheapest they come is when they have $6.99 and they have like, three different tacos and a drink. No, that's $5.99. Those little twisty things and three tacos and a drink. But how much you gonna pay? Who gonna pay on top of that? Taco Bell plus delivery, 12, 14, $15? Hell no. Not for no fast food. I'm better off getting it myself. And Chick-fil-A is already, Chick-fil-A already went up in their price. They already went up in their little price. One time I was so used to paying $6.90 They talk about $7 and some change. I'm like, Del Taco is nasty. I went to Del Taco. They opened up a Del Taco a few months ago. I went in there and I was like, I ordered something and I just gave it right back to them and said, I want my money back. The thing was, Del Taco was so nasty. Taco Bell, this one was remodeled on 78, so they remodeled it. So I went in there and ordered a 5.99 special thing with the taco, the soft burrito, and what was the other one? The other chalupa, whatever thing, and then a drink. And it was 5.99. And it was like, dang, they sure they put it was all beef. And if you wanted chicken, you had to pay extra for chicken. And I was like, no, I don't trust no chicken. At least if it's beef. But they put so little beef in it in the taco. I was like, but the only good thing with Taco Bell that I ate today was because the lettuce, tomato, I could tell it was fresh. That's what I could tell it was fresh. It wasn't like no old lettuce and no dried up looking. So it did taste it pretty good. The little three things I had, the three different burrito and the little crunchy taco and the regular taco. I don't know. You will eat chicken turkey. So, but because the lettuce, you could tell it was fresh. So it wasn't Taco Bell was not as bad as I thought. But Del Taco, you ain't gotta worry about me ever eating there. The only reason why I picked Del Taco was probably wrapped around the corner was because they opened. Did they open 24 hours? I want to say that Del Taco opened 24 hours. And I know Taco Bell don't open 20 because I asked them. I asked them because they said they was hiring. And I asked them were they 24 hours. But I don't know. Like I said, everything was fresh. And I could tell fresh with the vegetables and stuff they had in there. So they didn't had a whole lot of beef. So I guess it could be a little bit more healthier. But I ain't gonna make a habit of eating out like that anymore. Because once I start juicing, I already bought the kale, pineapple, so I'm gonna do me a juice thing tomorrow. Use my Vitamix. Let me see. I'll put kale, piece of pineapple. I bought strawberries. Throw in some almond milk I have. Blend that up, and I'll be drinking that tomorrow. I probably break some. If I get online live stream tomorrow, I'm gonna make me one and show y'all. I'm not gonna show you when I make it because the Vitamix and stuff is downstairs. I'm gonna, use the pineapple, strawberries, kale, ginger. Yep, I'm gonna make me a little smoothie and either put water in it or I'm gonna put the almond milk. I don't know yet. Which one do you think I should put? Should I put the water or should I mix it with almond milk? Or I could do both. I just know it's gonna be a green smoothie. Chick-fil-A, a soda. Hmm. Yep, I can't wait till my little vegetable things start growing. Spring is next week, so I've been trying to sow some of the seeds. It's just some of them started germinating. Some of them being pulled up for nothing. Yeah, I like service at Chick-fil-A. You ain't never get no bad service from them. Now sometimes I know one in Tucker they could be a little bit slacking off too. They really could be. That one in Tucker, I mean, their service ain't bad, but it ain't like impeccably 100% customer service at the one in Tucker. Some people could give you a little shade, you know. There's like two people in particular. When I go to that one in Tucker, I'm like, mm-mm. I know Chick-fil-A was hiring. I saw online the one in Dunwoody. They was paying $8.50 an hour at the Chick-fil-A if you had to work like the morning time in Dunwoody. They were paying $8.50. Chick-fil-A got a bad rep because of their views of things. Yeah, yeah, like against LGBTQ and but I don't know if that's really true that they have those type of views because the owner of Chick-fil-A, he was very religious. That's why they don't open up on Sundays, but their views is not really carried through when they hire people, They give people the freedom to do what they want to do on Sunday, whether they choose to worship or not. But they just believe more so in the service and the customer service. I think a lot of times people try to equate the owner's views to the company's views, and that's not really true. I just think that people they think because the owner or the higher ups of Chick-fil-A may have expressed certain things, that doesn't mean that they expect everyone to be Christian or whatever, because there's some people who were different nationality, different religions worked at Chick-fil-A. But I know one thing, um, the values in terms of the standards they uphold is pretty good. That's one thing I would say is very different with Chick-fil-A. These little fast food places, and they just, the service is like, sucks. McDonald's, I think um, if they started basing people's pay on the customer service with McDonald's and nasty ass Burger King, and say for instance people do a survey and say for instance people were to do the survey and they get a bad review, then people's pay should be reflected on people's survey and opinions about the service. So if the service was terrible and bad as a store, then that should be reflected in whether or not employees get paid what they pay. And I think if they start doing that, people will start having a little bit more better attitude when it comes to service. I'm quite sure managers get paid bonuses based on sales, but that should all tied into everybody. You know, like for instance, if they say that, oh, this cashier, and they, someone did the survey and they called in, and say for instance they start giving them say they get an extra $100 a month if they get reviews favorable for service, they'll get $100 extra per month. And then if they don't get it, then they will subtract from the money that they owed, that they get paid. And I think it will be they would care a whole lot, especially that nasty ass McDonald's, the one up the street from my house, and the one in Tucker. Shoo. What happened, Jen? What they did to discriminate with your friend? What did they do? Cause I mean, Chick-fil-A, I ain't saying they don't discriminate, cause sometimes they could be on the sly too. They got their little sly ways of doing things, especially depending on which one you go to, what area. You go to one in Johns Creek and one of the more affluent areas, Chick-fil-A's, they could be a little bit, you know, mean nasty. What's that thing? Not mean nasty. What they call it? Nice nasty or something. They could be a little bit. Sometimes I get the vibe by some people at Chick-fil-A when I go to certain areas. Yeah, they be nice. I mean, they not gonna be all nasty attitude, obvious. But sometimes you could tell. Hey, who left the room? It was like 80 y'all. Now all of a sudden y'all dropped down. Dog, I already been on here for 57 minutes. I'll be on here for a few more minutes, and after that, I'm gonna, you know, see what's going on in the other realm. Then I'm gonna go to bed. So what else y'all been doing? Okay, well, good night, Jean. I'll call you sometime to check and see how you're doing. I'm just gonna wait till it get about 2 more minutes. Nene. Learning YouTube live stream. I've been watching some people's YouTube channels on live stream. Some people they need to go back into doing their recording, commentating, because I mean it's just like for instance, I was watching Timothy Blaine and watching his channel. Sometimes he be on there for live stream for like everything now. I was like, because people be giving him cash app and what you call that other thing? Um there's the cash app and they also be doing the giving money to the chat or whatever. And I was like, that ain't the purpose of doing live streaming, you know? Yeah, they do pay. Yeah, Snapchat. That's Snapchat. Yeah, they do the PayPal, but you have to put your link in the PayPal, and people put the link on the Cash App, super chat or something. Yeah, it's a super chat. I don't qualify for that, so but I said, well, shoot. When people give you you get money from that. YouTube gets what 20% or something. They don't even you don't get to keep all of that money. You do not get to keep all of that. So I'm like, nope. If I ever decide to do that one day, if I ever decide to do that, I would, I would probably do a Patreon page, but I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to start doing that for, say, growing my tax business stuff. I would have to do mine based on valuable information that I could share where other people could make money based on some information or something I may want to do, but I may do mine at a small increment. I've been watching that little segment. I've been watching that little segment and people just be milking people out of money for and it ain't nothing of value. That's what be killing me. I'm like, okay, you want to do super chat and PayPal and getting money for this to do what? Just to talk about um he snapped. I knew what you meant. I'm surprised people ain't do that on Snapchat. Shoot, people probably could, Snapchat probably be a way of people um well, Twitter kind of took over Instagram. So I don't know how many people I don't even have no Snapchat. I think the people have Twitter and um Instagram. That's what people be trying to be jumping on. But all that is crowdfunding. That's what it is. It's crowdfunding. And there's nothing wrong with it. But to me, it's like people just get on there and yeah, it is. It's just like when like Facebook, Facebook had to add Facebook Live and things like that to stay relevant. They just had to have other features for people to get on there. Yeah, there's a whole lot of marketing on that Facebook. Whole lot. They be adding Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Live, and if you want to start a business with Facebook, everybody got Instagram and everybody got Twitter and all those things. All those social medias was first meant for just for social interaction, and now people found a way to do it as a marketing for businesses. That's the way of the world. And all these social media platforms and things of that nature kind of, is going to be the thing because people are not being, you don't have to interact in the outside world, meeting people face to face, and all this outbreaks and diseases and viruses coming around. Everybody could, communicate through um, computer, internet. You look at the Jetsons. Remember the cartoon, the Jetsons? How you think about the Jetsons. They had Rosie the robot. She was the one that was vacuuming everything, and she was a robot. That comes to um that's coming to light. Then you see the driving cars. You know that's almost gonna be there, but when you think about the electric cars, or self-driving cars. That's just the first step of flying cars next. That could be possible. What else is that you see? Um, what else you see? You know how like Star Wars, not Star Wars, Star Trek. See, Star Trek, if you remember watching the show, the old one, not the new Star Trek and stuff. When Star Trek, when they had like the and they had the little flip phone and he was talking. That's what we got. That's what they doing now with the phones. It's not a flip phone, but those smartphones, the flip, you could talk and see. See, even that was on the Jetsons too. When you think about it, on the cartoons, you see people, they was like, quick, and everybody was talking, and they was talking on the screen. See how those things, when you make those little cartoons and how all of that was 30 years, 35 years ago, 40 years, you see all those things that were made. You can easily watch that online too. Yeah, but if you watch the cartoons, I'm saying the content of the cartoons and the Jetsons, and with the flying cars and how they were talking on the screen, and you could talk to someone and see them and start talking. Ain't nobody never, they ain't had none of that when that cartoons were out. All those things in those sci-fi movies, the flip phone and them talking, all of that came to, all of that is now what's happening 40 years later. How old was I when that, what, 10? Yeah, like the watches. It's like all those things. Look at those shows. The old Star Trek. They had the watch, and they were talking in the watch, and look how that thing was in the 70s, 60s, 70s when they came out with those TV shows doing that. I remember watching the program years ago, a few years ago, and how they had bought they put a correlation between that, and then it was also there was some book. I can't remember the book. How they were saying it was like some disease, how the world had this epidemic of diseases, and they said that people are not going to fight wars through physical wars, but it's going to be biochemical warfare of someone leashing out of diseases, and people are going to get sick and worldwide. That's what. See, I'm no conspiracy theorist, and I claim not to be, but a lot of things that were written in history that's shown in TV shows, movies, books, you know, they had spoke on it. Even the Bible probably had some, that would say that things like that was going to happen. You know, I'm not trying to be a scary person or make people afraid, but the things that's going on now, the things that were being made, things that are made, there's a whole lot of things, you know. People now do things online, so all these social media, how people just, not no social interactions, physically or social interactions. People could be sitting at home, just everything could be done through a matter of not even having to go out anymore. Everything is being deleted, everything, and that changes a whole lot of aspects in society. How work, things of work nature, people, um, it's just going to be a very interesting thing. It's just very interesting. And, me being at 51 years old, in the next 20 years, when I'm 70, if I live to be 70, if I live to be 80, I think about my grandmother and my mother and people like in their, they're in their 70s, 80s, 90s, My grandmother's 91. 91? Yeah, she's 91. And you think about all the things you've seen in your lifetime, in her lifetime. Can you imagine? You know, just forget about saying, oh, a black president, but just all the technological changes, all the things that people have gone, from the time he was a little girl, my grandma was a little girl, you know, living in this age now, and she has a quite understanding of it. My grandma don't have no cell phone or nothing like that, but you know, she still watches the news, very aware of things going on, and that's a blessing to live through that, to live through all these different technological changes. Can you imagine? If you were 90 some years old and you lived through a period of World War II, all the changes in technology and society, from civil rights to gay rights to, I mean, just all the history that you actually could witness. That's amazing. And I was a young adult when my great grandmother was still alive. And growing up, and you hear the stories when my great grandparents were alive, and they talk about their mamas, their grandmothers, and and just think that they probably was one generation. Let me see. That they probably could speak on just out of slavery. I mean, I probably was very, very young, but to have my great grandmother still be alive to talk about her mother, which would be my great great, and then that you could go back 5 generations, what, 5, 6 generations, and you hear the stories, and they didn't have Facebook and they didn't have all this technological things that you could record. It's like when I'm sitting here now. All this information could go in a time capsule. You don't even have to dig it up in the ground and put a time capsule. You know, 10, 15 years, 10, 15, 20 years, you know, I don't have any children, no grandkids or nothing, but the same technology that we are so used to, accustomed of using and doing, could be something that could come back and someone could go back and say, oh, let me go back on YouTube and see what was going on. Can you imagine that? The year 20, let me see. Say I live to be 90, 40 years from now, and it'll be 2060, and I was born 1968, you know, the year Martin Luther King got shot in 1968, even though I was a baby. But to go through the changes that I've seen in the time, decades and past, and manage to be 51 years old, and you could able to talk to people all across the world on YouTube and Facebook and all these little apps and stuff. And years down the line, you could go back and play it and listen to it and see how the world was. The only thing about, with the technology that we have now, which came out in the 70s, when it first started in the 70s, was military use this usage, but like in the 80s, when computers were available and the technology we have now is available, and how it changed and evolved and grew differently through the years. Can you imagine that there were records that was held or spoke of during the time in this country of slavery, and people had those ways of communicating that history. That's why each race, generation, race of people, black folks, we lost our ability to storytell. We could do our storytelling here on YouTube. We could do our storytelling here on Facebook. But all the foolishness that I've seen on these sites with, these little sectors, people are wasting their energy and not growing a legacy as a people. They want to get on YouTube. I ain't saying all, because there are some people that using social media for good. But can you imagine that, we have a family page on Facebook. So, family reunion, we keep, update information and things about, you know, family reunion updates and family accomplishments and gatherings. And, it's all on Facebook. But all that information, it could be shared for the next generation. So can you imagine that the only source of storytelling that we had, that I was fortunate to experience, not as a very, as a young girl, young woman, younger adult, in my 20s, and remember the stories that my great grandmother told me, being able to have older people in my family who tell the stories that you hear. I pray to God that I'm able to keep all those memories, document those memories. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Start talking a little bit more about the stories that my grandmother and try to remember the stories from my great grand aunts and people who are still here. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Especially when I come around older people in my family that are still alive. My 91-year grandmother and great grand aunts, and just start talking to them and say, what, not put a camera in front of them and like, oh, here, come talk, but just kind of document those gatherings and hearing people tell the stories, because we have the technology and ability to do that now, because it's like a time capsule. That's how I'm going to look at it. You could use time, you could use YouTube as a way of a time capsule, and using it as a time capsule to keep track of the stories that you hear. Because see, right now, without YouTube and social media came about, I was told those same stories in my 20s as a little girl. Me, my sister, my cousins, and we were always told those stories. But who would ever think that one day we're going to have to keep alive, we're going to have to keep those stories alive and keep moving forward. Now, I know I went on a big tangent talking about, the virus and how my day went to telling this story now, but it kind of ties it in, because if the world is going to be, I ain't gonna say destroyed, but if all these things that were spoke of all these situations of society being changed to warfare, or whether it be this biochemical warfare or um, people dying on, I'm not saying it'll be a mass destruction of the world, but if you're a believer, whether you believe in God or a higher being or whatever it is that you believe in, you can't let this worry you. You can't let this scare you. You know, all you could do now is everyone look out for each other, check up on your loved ones, friends, family, neighbors. What's that noise? There's some funny noise. Anywho, all those things that's happening now, it just shows how vulnerable people, life can be. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with this whole virus situation. We don't know that. But I could tell you that it's been prophesized, it's been written, whether you believe in the Quran or whether you believe, the Bible or Notre Dame or whatever. It's kind of like it's kind of like said it was going to happen. We didn't know what you don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know. We don't know. But the thing is just keep your family close, keep your friends close, check up on each other, and keep yourself engaged. Don't let this social media thing be a way of isolating yourself from people and all this technology takes over being civil, being social. People say, "Oh, I contacted you on social media." No, pick up the phone and call on the phone and talk. You know, Sometimes too much technology, such as this, can be a hindrance because it could stop you from learning because everything is not Googled. Everything that you get from what's going on, you cannot get that from a meme or whatever. People don't even get the original source. They looking on snippets. You can't get that from what's going on in the world through snippets. You know, Sometimes things are get a little bit out of hand and it could be a little bit exaggerated. But sometimes you have to use your common sense. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful and you know, just don't let this don't let don't let this be a troublesome matter. Just don't. You know. But right now we just have to endure the little, you know, whatever it is that's going on and just be a wake up call. That's all I know. Wash your hands with soap and water. If you're sick, stay home. Check up on your family members. I'm gonna probably call my grandmother tomorrow, see how she's doing. Check on my mother. Check on my other family members and see how they doing. That's all I could do. But anyway, I don't want to be long, and I enjoy the 4 people with the 4 thumbs up. Give it more thumbs up and like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Well, later on. Today's already 2:38. So anywho, I will check up on y'all. Romeo, be careful and hope you feel better. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Angel, all right, remember, send me an email. I could send you some information about some of these work at home jobs. Jen and 28, Vicky, and who else? Anyone else I didn't forget? Y'all have a good night, and I will talk to y'all later.